Hey,
What's up?
This is a different intro for us. We're on vacation. Part 2 of our discussion with Taylor Temple. It's about to happen. That's what you clicked on. That's why you're here. You're going to watch that. And it's good. It's a good conversation.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop some information on you.
Maybe some conspiracy.
Might have to look some stuff up.
Yeah. It should be fun. A lot of fun. Hope you enjoy it. We're going to go back to golfing.
See ya.
Movies and chill with Zach and Dill. That'll get my giggle box going.
Movies and chill with Zach and Dill.
Our pet heads are falling off!
Movies and chill
Great Scott!
with Zach and Dill.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Movies and
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
chill.
Well, they're sorry!
Zach and Dill.
Spartans! Prepare for glory! The great Oz has spoken.
Movies and chill.
Get to the podcast now.
Hey, back at it. This is officially part 2. We've been here long enough to call it part 2, I think. We knew it was going to happen. It was bound to happen. Taylor is our guest, and he's here for the long haul. Asked him to leave an hour ago. He's still here.
Refuse.
It just won't go. So we might as well keep talking. I had a random thought to get us going. And we do this sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes we just have these random thoughts that I have. We call them shower thoughts.
Okay.
Or, because you and I both used to landscape. We
Yeah.
call them
Same
landscape
company
thoughts.
even.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
Cut above.
Cut above.
Shut out. OG.
The grow man.
Yeah. The grow
Um,
man.
We call them like landscape thoughts or shower thoughts, whatever you want to call it. But one thought I had like this week and or this month, because I don't tell time so good. I don't remember when I had this thought, but I thought, and since you're a dog person, I wanted to bring this in because I knew you were coming. When a dog brings you the same toy, like over and over again, brings you that toy, I wanted to get you to think about like the dog. Is that the dog bringing you its favorite toy, or does it think it's your favorite toy? That was the thought I had.
Dang.
I was thinking
It's
like,
deep.
yeah, this is what we do with this segment is like we think
All-
deeply about
I can't.
stupid things that make no sense.
My dog, it's his toy.
How do you know?
That's what I would say too.
How do
to be
you know?
honest.
Because he doesn't bring, like, well, you gotta understand.
Is he over in the corner playing with
Yeah.
that same toy
Yeah.
without you?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I think you.
But here's the thing. My dog, I can say my dog's not a typical dog when it comes to that, especially with me. Like with you, it might that might be. Hey, I think he might like to play with this.
It's like my old dog Duke.
Yeah. So me, no, because me and him, we've been around with so long. He knows I'm not gonna always play with him. So it's his toy. So he'll grab it, go chew on it, whatever.
Yeah.
He might bring it up to me every once in a while and say, "Hey, throw this for me." But that's about it.
Okay.
Like, but I've had other dogs where what you said might be true.
Well, because I had Duke,
Yeah.
you know, silver toy terrier,
Yeah.
Yorkie, and smart dog, so smart. It would bring me this stuffed rabbit toy that we had, and he would always bring me the same rabbit, and he would put it at my feet. He'd look up at me, shake his little tail. He had no tail; it was like a nub. He was shaking at me, and then we would play with that toy. And I still think about that. Like, is that his favorite toy? Because he had a whole bin full of toys. There was a fox in there. There was a rope in there. There was all kinds of fun stuff in there. He didn't get anything else but that toy. But when I thought about it, what toy did I grab when I first showed him the bin? It was that first toy. It was that rabbit.
Okay.
So in my mind, like, did I
Thinking-
set him up?
Right.
Like,
Be like, oh, that's
hey,
his toy. Let me
here's
grab
your
this one.
toys. Rabbit.
Yeah.
I'm like winking at him.
Yeah.
Hey, rabbit. Okay. No, I don't know.
I feel like in your case, you're right. It is that way because he liked other toys more. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Because like
So in
To
your case,
test that-
I believe that.
to test that,
Yeah.
I'm over here at the table, maybe doing some documenting. This is what it sounds like. And I'm over here, and the dog's over in the corner near its toys, doesn't grab the rabbit, doesn't grab the fox, doesn't grab anything. except his own leg. Just starts just gnawing at his own leg. So when given the choice to play with any toy, Duke thought my leg.
Yeah.
Or stare out the
Well, I
window.
mean, when
Into the
given
abyss.
when you're given the choice, I mean,
Yeah.
who's not going to choose to like play with himself? Right? Is that what you're getting at?
Depends on how many. Depends on how many of my family members are watching this podcast. Is how I answer
there
that
you go.
question.
So I mean, I had 3 dogs.
Yes,
Peyton.
all boxers.
Peyton, Layla, Marley, shout out. R.I.P.
Love that they're real people.
Yeah, R.I.P. Right? Yeah, all real people names.
Yes.
Yeah. But man, like it was never my toy. It was their toy because I could not be paying attention, and they'd grab the same toy all the time and take it off, and they'd run out in the yard with it, and it'd be theirs. You try to get them, and they'd run away. Like if I ever held on to the toy, they'd be digging at me to get that toy because they knew it wasn't my toy. They're like, hey,
so you guys had dogs that
Give my
was
toy
clearly your dog.
yeah, because each dog had their own toy, right?
So
Peyton had his. Peyton was like a squirrel that was a little squeaker.
Okay.
Right? Marley was one that she had a ball, and then I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can't say that because it's name
It's
brand.
whatever.
They're not a sponsor. Don't worry.
The what?
The Kong. So it was like a. It was
this
like
segment brought to you by.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but it was like a toy that you could stuff treats
yeah.
inside of, right? And it was like a. It kind of looked like almost.
Yes,
like
we had those.
Yeah.
I remember
So-
those.
And that was Layla's go-to. Was the
Okay.
Kong. Regardless if treats in it or not, like that was her toy.
Boy, there's something in there.
So yeah, so she always thought there was something in there. So she was all about the Kong. Marley was all about any ball. I don't think she even really had a particular one, but then Peyton was all about like the squirrel toy. So like they each had their own thing.
Okay.
And so obviously each one would bring their own thing to me, and I would play with that thing. So that's why I think it was more of a dog's choice.
Okay, so like
To finish that shower
to
thought.
kind of summarize that
Enough.
thought, my dog was the only diabolically retarded dog out of all of our
Or the most loyal, I guess, right? The one that
Okay, I just want to make sure. Most loyal, I don't know. He was definitely a different kind of dog. Smart dog, different.
fair enough.
Shout out to Matt, who's still got a dude going on over at his house right now. But okay, immediately thrust you back into the firmament conversation.
Yeah, just all right.
So before
Dogs
we
to firmament.
If you're joining the conversation late, if you happen to click on part 2 before you heard part 1, we were talking about conspiracy theories. This episode is going to be a continuation of that.
More of a chill than a movie, right?
Yeah. Well, we started with movies. We were
the
talking about
title's gonna
Truman
be-
Show.
we
You
tried
love
to
Dark
tie
Side?
it in a little bit, yeah.
I loosely tied this episode in. I thought of another one. What about The Matrix?
Oh, yeah.
There's probably a lot of clicks in The Matrix, right? Like,
There's a ton of people out here that would swear by the fact that we are living in the Matrix.
do you think we're all
In the
like
name.
connected into a battery?
No,
Okay, all right.
no, I'm not that.
That was gonna how you answered that question was gonna determine whether there was a part 3 or not.
Yeah. No, I'm not
Okay.
that far gone.
Well, that's all
but-
the time we have for today.
Yeah, but there is, the whole thing that's going around right now that seems to be gaining traction or gaining at least a little bit more attention of the Mandela effects, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and where people believe that the government is slowly trying to change history,
Gaslight.
if you will. And again, for those on the audio, I use rabbit ears again. But gaslighting you into believing that, like, hey, this one thing that used to exist that you could swear by your life existed at one point actually didn't exist.
Yeah. Wild.
And it's this whole experiment on the country as a whole, or on the population as a whole, as to what can we really get away with in terms of changing and or erasing history, right?
Yeah.
The most recent thing that I can tell you that I know, and I will swear on my kids' lives by the fact that happened and they changed already, which is non-consequential. It has nothing to do. It won't change anything about any of our lives, right?
Okay.
The Super Bowl that just
Okay.
happened, right? Alicia Keys was part of the Super Bowl halftime show. When Usher was out there, Alicia Keys had a song with him. So I can remember, as much as I can remember your name, Dylan.
Yeah.
That when she first came on stage and sang, the very first note that she sang was off key.
Okay.
It was like, ooh, because I remember even thinking we were watching the halftime show and she hit this note. Yeah, it was like, I was like, whoa, like okay, right?
Alicia off
Like
key.
yeah, Alicia off key, perfect. I love it. So Alicia off key hit this note, and I'm like, what? Okay, and then all of a sudden she corrected and got right back to
So it was a mistake.
Alicia on key, right? It was
Yeah.
a mistake. You go back now, and if you pull up any type of YouTube like video of that halftime show, she hits that note perfect.
Is that just editing?
But it is. But so my point being,
Well, what's wrong with that?
This is my point.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Is
Go
that
ahead.
you can take something that happened that people witnessed with their own eyes, heard with their own ears, they saw.
Yes.
They can take something that happened and they can scrub it, and it can be as if it never happened. Because now all I have to tell you that it happened was the fact that I saw and heard it happen. But if you ask me for proof, now you can say, well, but look, I'm looking at the video right here, right now. I pulled up the video. It didn't happen. She hit it perfect every time. And I can tell you it did not happen. But I have no leg to stand on other than my own word, where any evidence I no longer have to provide to you as proof. Mm-hmm. Now the evidence has been altered to fit whatever they want to fit their narrative, right? And that's what's really scary about the technology and how we're going so heavy on technology is even things like as simple as like a definition in an online dictionary. You can go in and you can change. They can.
I mean, you can change anything in the world on Wikipedia. We rely heavily.
Exactly right. So you can change and you can edit that to fit whatever narrative you want it to fit.
Sure.
So whereas you can't go and you can't take a physical copy of a dictionary, which you want to talk about conspiracies and people being kind of like a little bit like weary of the government. So
yeah,
anytime I get a chance to get my hands on a dictionary, especially something that was printed like before the year 2000, I buy it. I go to the bookstores, used books or whatever, or I find a book at a garage sale or a dictionary. Mm-hmm. I buy it because what you can't change is what's been printed in the book.
Right, it's there.
It's there. It's printed. I have it.
This is why I don't like Kindle.
Yeah. So then, sorry. I slipped off my chair there.
Don't be sorry, because if you do that, our ratings skyrocket.
Skyrocket when I
so
fall.
Good.
Like,
so
the
good.
government did it.
The government, that's right.
Knocked him off the chair.
Yeah, legitimately lasered him off.
Yeah, exactly right. They send it an electronic magnetic pulse through me and just cause me to spasm.
I also want to go back to the Super Bowl because I want to know, like, if that's true about the Super Bowl and all the halftime shenanigans. Mm-hmm. So, did I actually see Janet Jackson's boobie? If I go back and look now, will I see two boobies?
Oh, I don't know.
Accidentally, you thought I was going the other way.
Google it. Yeah, you thought
I was going the other way. No, I want to know now. If I go look, is it actually?
There was more to it.
Did they limit us to only one?
Yeah.
That's called a screwball.
I'm raising up.
You weren't ready for that.
If that's the case, that's it. We're storming the Capitol.
Sorry, we're storming.
I want to see
don't say that.
Titties.
We are not storming the Capitol. I'm going to make that very clear for anybody out there that's listening.
What's the definition of storming the Capitol? Oh, just saying it, and then we say you did it. Okay.
Yeah.
The reason gas prices are as high as they are is so that I don't go to.
So you can't travel to Capitol. That's exactly.
Exactly.
They don't want the rioters to be able to get there. That makes perfect sense.
Don't do crime. They don't want us to do crime.
No, but if you can take something like that, and that's what's so scary about everything going digital, is that if you can, it's so easily manipulated. Like you can take something and you can make it whatever you want it to be. And then the people that are actually speaking the truth, that are speaking because of their experience, are labeled the crazy ones. Because now their standard is being held to, well, here's what the video shows. Here's what the text says. But so now the people that are actually speaking truth are labeled the crazy people.
Well, and I'll tell you, it's like, it's not like I would call anybody crazy, but I know exactly what the majority of people's attitude is. You bring that up just to try to example right away, like, who cares? It was a Super Bowl and somebody's saying
right, and that's such a.
But like I said, but that's with everything. It's like why? Like,
that's almost like a trial run.
Yeah,
right.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But if they're willing to do it,
but it's almost one of those things too. It's like why they did it. The reason they did it because they wanted to know if people noticed.
Sure.
So they know they can do
trial.
Trial, like you said,
to see if it.
Yeah. In my mind,
if they believe this.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, if they're willing to do it for something that's so insignificant, that matters nothing to anybody, that's not going to change the course of anybody's life, but they're willing to do it to that, why would they not? why would somebody who has skin in the game or has money to be made or has any type of outcome in their favor, why would they not then start to alter things?
It's just interesting because in that same note, it's like you could find the footage of that because people, they take footage anymore.
Sure.
So like the whole idea is just like, are you willing to pay attention to everything? But like I said, on certain things like that, even if it's at a bigger scale, most people would be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So,
and speaking of real quick, just to throw another movie in there.
Okay, go
because
ahead.
you said Eyes Wide Shut.
That's on my list.
Okay, that's another one. Just so you know.
That's on my list. Love it. They're just in your face about it.
They are in your face about it.
Yeah, I love it. Stanley Kubrick is not messing around with that movie.
Oh gosh. Anyway,
I found Alicia Keys. Was she singing America the Beautiful?
I honestly, she was at the piano. I just remember she was on stage at the piano. It was like
Super
right when
halftime with Usher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was.
So it wasn't America the Beautiful.
Might not have been. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear the first note. Wait.
Oh.
After,
Yeah.
we gotta wait for that.
We gotta edit that. Arby's is not a sponsor.
I don't
I don't-
actually enjoy Arby's at all.
Yeah. I don't. Now that's even worse.
Is that worse? Dang it! I missed the first note. Wait, was she at the piano?
No.
Hold on. I gotta go back.
But
the first thing I heard was pretty whack. Hold on.
But
the first
what
note
you
that I
find
heard-
on YouTube is going to be the edited
This is what I'm
versions.
trying to see.
Okay.
I want to try to see if it sounds great.
It's not gonna sound necessarily great because
It didn't. It sounded like a cat dying.
But
I
no,
wanna play it
but
again.
what I'm telling you is it was like abundantly like.
That's
like
what I'm
thing-
saying.
kind
That's
of
what
thing.
that sounded like.
Oh,
But I don't think that was her. I think that was Usher.
oh, okay.
Wait, let's hear it. Wow! Did you hear it? They didn't catch Usher's mess up. He beat me out right before he went on.
I don't
Okay.
think you're gonna hear that very clearly.
I'm not gonna.
It's just gonna be.
I thought it'd be
But
fun
anyway.
to try.
But again, my point being, if they're willing to do it on something that has no significance, they're absolutely going to do it on something that has any type of significance.
Okay, but it's about
That's why book burning was a
intention.
thing.
It's about intention, though. It's about intention. So, are they going back to fix Alicia Keys so that Alicia Keys sounds better? Because that's noble. That's virtuous. If you go back to do that to test to see if I can change your mind about the Holocaust, that's different. See what I'm saying? It's all about intention.
Who can honestly? I can't speak to their intention. I can speculate.
I can only say, in agreement with you, that it's scary that they can do that.
Correct.
I can't say that they did that
Sure.
to mess with you.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I can't get to that point of it.
Yeah.
But it's scary enough that they can do it because someone will use that.
Without question.
Not even questioning, it's not a doubt that
No.
someone will use that for nefarious purposes.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make that clear. Like, I don't know that Alicia Keys is in some kind of conspiratorial
Oh, that's
world.
not what I'm getting at.
Right.
All
Okay.
I'm getting at is the point that
But she's
they
awful
have
pretty.
the capability of doing that. And if they're willing to do it for something so...
It stands to reason that if she's pretty, she wouldn't do anything nefarious.
Those are the people that do all the nefarious things.
No,
that's
I
how
don't-
they get
if
so,
I've been
that's how
misled-
they get so pretty.
Have I been misled? Are you getting into an adrenochrome
We have all
reference?
Nah.
Oh, I found his limit.
No,
I was
mean,
wondering what the limit. I found it.
Like,
Okay, I got to break it open.
I don't know enough about that, but like, I don't know.
Do you think that's happening? And before we go on, I have to specify. We're an hour and change into this conversation. I was wondering about adrenochrome. I was wondering about
An hour, and then we also have to
babies.
preface that we're about 4 or 5 drinks into it. As
No,
well, so.
I mean, I
Okay.
can have many, many more not Bud Lights before I get into a deeper
Sure.
conversation.
But adrenochrome is one of those things. It's just
What do you mean one of those things? Because this is my problem with QAnon. I can never follow QAnon, and
Me
he and
either.
I have talked about
Me either.
this.
Me either.
Like, I can't stand groups like QAnon for one simple reason. Well, not just one, but one glaring reason. Is you hook me like a bass. You hook me with they're after Trump. Trump's our savior. They're this, they're that. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Then you go, they're putting lasers in our dog's asshole. And I'm like, what happened? What? Where did we get to that part? Like,
Well,
how did we get there?
They're not putting lasers in the dog's beeholes, but they are putting chips into people's wrists, and that's a real thing that you can look up too. Where the people are scanning for their groceries.
But you get what I'm saying. Any conspiracy theory group,
Sure,
their biggest flaw is they go too far.
of course.
It's like you had me with this.
But this is where again, I can't stress enough that you have to just use common sense and reasoning. Like,
yes,
I am.
Why can't they?
I am full blown on some of the things that most people would consider to be a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
I'm fully on board with it, but I have my limitations.
and that's one of them is like.
And some
QAnon
people
stuff.
it'll be just not. They will look to find a conspiracy in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's my
They'll
biggest
say,
problem.
"Oh my gosh, the reason that picture frame is black is because of X, Y, Z." I'm like, dude, no, it's not that deep. Okay, like
You're crediting humanity with an incredible amount of intelligence that isn't deserved when you do that. Like, we are not as evolved as the QAnon people think that the conspiracies are.
I would
It's
actually
way
argue
too
that
deep.
we are less evolved than we used to be at some point in time.
I agree. So we're making the same point. Like, all that to say, you could use this for a left-right argument.
Sure.
People that hate Trump, okay?
Yeah.
This is my favorite thing to debate with people. And for the record, I can't stand Trump as a person.
Agreed.
But Trump as a president, Trump as an administrative body, he did pretty good.
Did all right.
He did okay.
Yeah.
I had no problems. I went to the gas pump and it was fine. And I took my family out to eat.
I'll tell you.
And I had money left over.
My dollar went a lot further.
Yeah. Okay. So
during that time,
that's where I
I'll say
stand
that.
with Trump.
Sure.
Okay. Do I care what he tweets on his toilet? No.
Nope.
I really don't. Okay.
Nope.
Should he do that?
Trump
Should he
tells me to go get the
Okay.
vaccine. Guess what? I'm not getting the vaccine.
Right.
to open up a whole nother can of worms.
But you're not wrong about
but
that.
Trump is the thing. Like to your point,
Yes,
like
go on.
people are so like either one way or the other.
Yes.
And I am not bought into like just because Donald Trump says something doesn't mean that I believe it. Do I agree with a lot of things that he does in terms of like how he ran our country like a business and was like, hey, we're not messing around. I'm going to do things for the people. Like I'm on board with that. But his antics, some of the things he said, not on board with. If he told just because Trump says, hey, you go do this, like I'm not just going to do it. I'm not, again, like I said at the very beginning of this episode, I've never been one to just bend the knee. I'm not just going to fall in line to be this hard truth Trumper. I'm not going to be
right.
this
You
hard,
should be.
right.
I wouldn't take you serious if you were like,
it's hard.
Conspiracy.
Right.
But Trump's the guy.
Right.
Like, that would make no sense at all. And
Right.
so for anybody that's like, oh, these right-wing lunatics, no, because Trump's not my guy.
No.
Y'all, Trump's not my guy. He's not.
Shameless plug. The only guy that I follow, Jesus Christ. And it sounds silly.
Boom.
Mic drop. That's my only focus. Every bit of my focus is biblical.
Okay. I get around that.
Every bit of my focus is I mean, it's a silly thing and it's from when we were kids, but dude, I rock it proudly all day, every day.
Do you have the WWJ? He does.
Can you see that? Can I point that to the camera? WWJD.
That's on my shoulder.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For life. Yeah. I see.
That's on my shoulder.
Paraglider.
I have it.
Yes.
Jesus Christ on a glider.
WWJD, like
Yeah.
that is where my focus is at. And sadly, it doesn't matter whether you're Democrat or a Republican. It doesn't seem like anybody's focus is on Christ.
True.
So you're almost left to
At least not
picking.
enough.
You're almost left to picking the lesser of two evils, because that's all we're given.
Well, that was how 2016 was.
Yeah,
like
sure.
nobody before Trump even stepped foot in the limelight. That was our choice. Was like this guy that was on The Apprentice or Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Who the heck's gonna live after
Right.
Hillary Clinton is voted in?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the choice was the evil I know or the goofball that I don't know.
Sure.
Around it was pretty funny because I got some people mad because I just told them, I said, it's not. I said, you really think you're just going to focus on Hillary because she's a woman and vote for her? I said, well,
Yeah, that's irritating.
But the thing is I told them, I said, here's the thing. Majority of the people I know say that the country needs to go a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
If you put Hillary in there, she's not going to change it. She is a part of this, so
Right.
it'll stay the way it did. And so I tell people, it's like, well, what do you want? And I said, Donald Trump will change stuff because he's a businessman and that's what he will do, because he wouldn't do the job unless he can do something about it. I said, on a personal level, I'll do crap about it.
Mm-hmm.
I never have, never will, never pay attention to him, but don't really care. He's a character. He's a character, like in a movie and stuff like that. So he's a character. But hey, you know what? If it's going to change stuff, we need to change stuff. And it did. And granted, then the Democratic Party, I did not expect them to turn into a bunch of high school crybabies like they did. That was
unexpected.
That was unexpected. I figured they would be like standoffish, like normal. That's a normal thing to do. Whew, I was so wrong. I was like, I did not expect that at all.
They lost their minds.
Yeah. And then the country did too, because they kept going, it was really easy for them to manipulate people and say, look what he's saying. Like, who gives a crap? My mom was one of the people like that. I was like, I'd explain to her, it's like, why do you care what he says? Well, you should be, no. Why do you care what he says? He's not doing anything to hurt the country. He's just talking. He's a personality. He is going to talk.
You know, the one endearing thing that made me like him before he did anything was the pay cut he took to do the job.
Oh yeah, he was
a millionaire already.
Yeah,
and he's like, you know what? I want to be president. Now, was it an ego? Yeah, okay. He's an egomaniac, sure. But even an egomaniac who takes a pay cut has a mission.
Yeah.
Like, the reason he did it, he's like, I'm out to prove what I'm going to prove. Okay, fine, great.
Yeah, but that's what he said. It wasn't about like he just wanted to be president. He showed that he could actually do a good job at it.
You don't hear about secrets with Trump.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen the Dave Chappelle, like where he was on Saturday Night Live?
Yes.
When he opened.
Oh,
and he
so good.
Yeah,
the monologue.
The monologue on Saturday Night Live when he talked
good.
about why people gravitated towards Trump.
Yes.
It's because he was the only dude that kept it real. He's like, listen, this is exactly what I'm doing. He was the guy that was in the party, the private party that you weren't a part of, came in and said, oh, hey, guys, guess what? This is what we're doing in the party. And then went back in the party and continued doing it.
Yeah.
He's like, because everybody's doing the exact same thing I'm doing. I'm just the only person that's willing to tell you like it is. Like, they talk about the taxes. And he's like, the reason that you're not going to do anything about the taxes, that just makes me smart. Yeah. He's like, because I'm taking advantage of the same tax codes that you guys are all taking.
And the thing I told people too is like, the funny thing about it was, it's like, okay, how do politicians most time get attention? Whether they're telling truths or lies, whatever they're doing, they're saying something to positively get people to follow. Mm-hmm. Hillary just went, I'm a woman, you should vote for me.
Sure.
And he's not very good.
And then he's just insulting him.
He's a bitch.
It's like, but here's the thing. When you sling insults, you're also supposed to sling truths or lies, but something positive that people can go, what are you going to do? She didn't believe he had a chance. Nobody did. And then here you go. He comes in there and literally is like, I might give you guys gold coins and stuff when I get in. He's saying stuff. At least he's saying positive stuff that everybody's like, you know what?
Call them rupees.
Yeah. So basically, he said everything that he was going to do, and people liked that idea, and people got mad. It's like, yeah, but Hillary didn't say anything. She didn't go up there and say,
she did a really horrible campaign.
Yeah, I'm going to take care of this, even if it's lies, because we know where they all lie. But if you're not even going to sling good lies, you don't deserve to win.
Right. Yeah, sure.
So I told people, I said, it's not about woman or man. It's the fact is like, what was she going to do? Nothing. She was not saying, I'm going to do anything. She goes, this is what I used to do. This is who I am. I'm a woman. End the story. He was at least coming in here and going, whether he was lying or not, he was just telling you what he's going to do. You like that.
Drain the swamp.
Yeah, I have the ability to at least see that, hey, this guy's going to try to do something where this person over here is not. So that's the funniest thing in the world. It's like politicians go up and they sling money and lie all day, and that's how they get the votes. And yet you come in here and you're like, you don't even play it right, and that's why you lost.
Yeah.
Because who would vote for? Well, because there's no Trump in there. But he's going to do so. He's telling you, like, he's literally doing all the same thing. Whether he's lying or telling the truth, he's at least telling you, like, again, hey, here's, I have these coins. They're gold. They're pretty worth a lot of money. I'm going to hand them to you when I get elected. She's not even saying that. Like, she's not even saying anything, even though it's going to be, they never did it. It's too bad you voted for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how politicians are.
to land the plane on the whole point I was making with Trump is that, like, Trump, when I'm talking to somebody who's against Trump, you know, it's they want to make 2 points at the same time, that he's an idiot, he's a moron, he should never vote for Trump, he's an idiot, he doesn't know anything. Okay, but in the same breath they'll say, oh, he's diabolical, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to push the nukes, he knows what he's doing, he's racist, he's this. Like, he can't be both
at the same time. Right?
You can't make him an evil genius and a moron in the same breath.
Yeah.
That's what people like Bill Maher did, you know, and Bill Maher,
he's actually come
a
around.
lot. He's come a heck of a lot, but the thing is, he hasn't moved. The Democratic Party's moved.
Yeah, so he's
stayed here.
Maybe shifted a little, but what's the most shift has been the left shifting so far.
Yes, he's actually still in the Overton window. Yeah. With that, we'll take another break. We're going to go pee, get more beverage, okay? And then we'll be back. Back again. Did you see the screen flicker?
Yeah,
I did too.
Yeah.
Or should we be concerned?
It's like there's a second feed going on or something like that.
It's like Big Brother's watching.
Big Brother's tapping in.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
It's possible.
We have said a lot of buzzwords.
Okay.
But let's take a side quest here.
All right.
Another thought-provoking question, shower thought, or a landscaping thought, if you will. It revolves around autocorrect. So on your phone, when you're typing, so a lot of people have autocorrect on their texting.
Sure.
Why is it, and I've thought this a long time, why is it that I correct the autocorrect more than it corrects me? Does this happen to you?
Because the honest on me, it's because it's not really auto-correcting. A lot of times it's trying to predict.
It's guessing.
It's guessing before you even after you do the word. And it guess that, were you trying to spell this? And you're sitting there going, it's not even close. What?
Yeah, like I want to put pizza and I put P and it like puts pedophile in there for me. And I wasn't going to say pedophile and it said it.
I don't know.
Yeah, what would you like on your pedophile? I did not mean to say that.
Yeah. It gets more fun like if you do
pizza.
Talk to text.
Pizza has a lot to do with certain things. Pizzagate.
Pedophile was the wrong word. Because I knew he was going to go Pizzagate.
Well, we're trying to keep the theme going, so
that's fair.
Yeah.
But that was my thought. What do you ever have autocorrect like jump in and like mess up your world? Or did you turn it off?
So that's the power of AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like AI just
it's a really dumb AI, but yeah.
It's a dumb AI, but like AI gets smart. The more information it gathers, like the smarter it becomes. And autocorrect is just a simplified version of AI, right? So it's just predictive. It's say, we think because of, I don't know why pedophile pops up too much, but it's because of, because of
that was a joke.
The frequency.
It doesn't really.
Because the frequency of use. Hey, we would suggest this word be used because. So I don't know, but
I said that for comedic effect, and now it's been dismantled.
But no, I mean, I don't have a problem personally with the autocorrect. I don't correct autocorrect much as I guess you might have it.
Oh, it irritates me to the point of thinking about it and put it in a podcast. Did you know that not autocorrect, but did you know that AI, and I guess autocorrect, by extension, has written a lot of Kamala Harris's speeches and interviews?
I wouldn't doubt it. And did you know that Joe Biden reads every single word on all of his speeches that AI has generated? Yeah,
like
even where he reads the word pause.
Yeah, he does.
4 more years, pause.
And he's so
And
confident about it.
He's so confident. Pause.
And then everybody claps like
And everybody's
seals.
like, yes,
4
4
more
more
years
years.
of Joe. He's so good.
That guy.
I love gas prices.
To they call it a callback in like comedy, right? They say, hey,
Yeah.
they talk about something that they have a callback, right? So as a callback, and I can't remember if this was on camera or off camera, when we talked about the founding fathers, the ages that they were in their.
That was off.
Was that off camera? Okay.
So go ahead and say.
So off camera.
Weren't they just wearing the wigs?
Yeah. So when
It made him look older?
when you talk about our founding fathers, instinctively people think old white men.
Well, like Washington.
Those are the three categories.
When he was
old,
president.
they were white, and they were man.
All right,
Those
but
are.
to the credit of the time frame, that was old.
I
Like
guess
You
that's
think
fair.
about it.
I guess
You
that's
think
fair.
about it. They didn't live that much long. Like we live a lot longer somehow.
Sure.
And, that would be old. But I still agree with you. They're young. But like back then,
But
that's
the
why they put
average
the white hair on because they didn't have white hair.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. I think, but the average person today, if you ask them how old was Thomas Jefferson, how old was Thomas Paine when it came to 1776, when they wrote the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, right, all those things. When you ask them, hey, how old do you think they were? Like instinctively, they think like the minimum age was 40. Oh, 40, 50, 60. But that's not the case. Like the oldest person was 36 years old. Like,
That's
right?
wild.
Like that's unreal. Like that's like you and us.
Uh-huh.
Like
They were the ones
sitting
in
at the
charge.
table. They were the ones that were in charge of a revolution. That at the point in time where Great Britain had the strongest army in the world.
Yeah.
We're saying, hey, no, we're not going to take this. We're actually going to separate ourselves from you. We're going to take a bunch of farmers and a bunch of peasants, and we're going to uprise against the strongest army in the nation. We're going to take you on. And just the cojones that those guys had to have in most cases, some of them in the 30s, a lot of them even in their 20s, right? Mm-hmm. And some of them even in their teens. Our founding fathers, bunny ears, right?
Yeah.
I almost said banana ears. That's weird.
I thought you were going to say Ben Franklin ears.
Ben Franklin ears. There we go. Ben Franklin ears. But the majority of those guys were on average age of like 27 years old.
That actually computes.
That's crazy.
Well,
if you think about it, I did a lot of dumb stuff in my 20s.
Yeah. To the point where you're thinking, you know what? We could take on the world's greatest.
We can get them.
We can get them.
Well,
just hide in some trees. We'll be okay.
They got muskets, but so?
Yeah. But you know what the
good.
And this is just a little side note. It has nothing to do with really much of anything, but maybe it has everything to do with everything. But how crazy is it to think that like the formalities, again, bunny ears, of war would be to not touch the generals. They were off limits. Like the generals that rode in on the horses, you could not touch them. We said, screw that mess. That's the exact person I'm targeting. Because if I take that general out, guess what? That just that discombobulates the entire war.
Yeah, because that wasn't always the case.
Well,
actually, in warfare, the general was the one that led the army and often died first.
Yeah, but then it came to a point where they were the ones sitting back on the hilltop on their horses while they sent their men into battle.
Well,
that's true.
That's the whole thing,
like
though.
The horribly not historical accounts of Braveheart. Yeah, for sure.
I was trying to think who was talking about that, where it's like, a bunch of guys in street clothes and muskets took out the army because they were like they're hiding in the bushes, picking them off because like.
But that's what they were doing.
They go, "Is this fair? Can we do this?" And they're shooting them, and they're all behind
Dude, it's smarter, not harder. Like that's the definition.
At one point, he goes, "Hey, can we shoot the guy with the drum?"
Yeah. But it's just crazy to think that they were so much younger than we give them credit for.
I had never considered.
Here's another thing that I always think about is really funny is I went to this historical thing at the Legion one time. And they're talking about this guy in the Civil War that was here in Pleasant Mills. He was born here, but he was stationed in Indianapolis, and they were sitting there talking about so they were stationed in Indianapolis. They're fighting down in Louisiana. They're walking from there to there. I'm sitting there going, first of all, you got to think about it's like they're all young and stuff like that. But it's okay, get their advantage. But they're most of the time they don't really have the nourishment they need and stuff. And these dudes walked all the way down to Louisiana and still won.
Yeah,
it was like crazy. That was a Civil
and
War
we
dog.
can't even walk down the block to McDonald's to
Yeah.
get a quarter pounder.
Right.
That's a workout for us. And these guys are walking
And
Africa.
you know it was a war if they're going to Louisiana on purpose.
Right.
That place is terrible.
Horrible.
Can I just say I
I
love
like
the fact that this podcast has got us from here to here to there.
Yeah.
Like I just love the fact that
like I said, we didn't.
but it's all tied together.
Yeah, it's
Do
all
you
tied
remember
together.
I
doing
love
By the
the
way,
fact
real
that we
quick,
can just
picture by
open-
numbers? Do you remember doing
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah.
Look,
This isn't like that.
hey,
This isn't anything like that.
Louisiana isn't that bad. Mississippi sucks.
Oh, there you go.
Are you
said
got, like ties to Louisiana?
No, I just went through Mississippi and got real mad. It was gross.
So you weren't even disagreeing about Louisiana. You were just mad about
where
Mississippi.
I
mad at
was
Mississippi.
Louisiana was nice. Wasn't everywhere, but where I was nice. Mississippi, whole time I was there, it was gross.
Who was the comedian? I don't remember who it was that said, or no, it was Tosh. It was Daniel Tosh. It said the Katrina.
Yeah.
About
yeah,
went
because
through Louisiana. He said if any city needed a bath,
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
that was a horrible joke.
Goodness sakes.
That I couldn't help but laugh at. I felt bad laughing, but
Yeah.
it was hilarious. Let's tie this back into
Okay.
what we've been talking about.
Okay, let's go.
What were we talking about? Oh, that's
At
right,
the
we were-
very beginning of this episode, we were talking about like the conspiracy theories, and we got the biblical ties, and we were talking about the firmament. It came up, and then it went away, as most things do on our podcast. But we're circling back because a big part of Taylor being here is his belief in, I'll say, just to quantify it in one bubble, flat Earth / firmament. So,
Buzzwords.
yeah, and that was kind of I wanted to land that plane at some point.
Yeah.
Now's as good a time as any. We're not going to get all the way into it. There's no way. We have no time for that. But to kind of broach the topic, maybe I'll give you the floor, and you can kind of walk me through the levels, the depths in which you believe in this.
Okay. So, for starters, flat Earth, we'll call it theory, because I can't prove it either. Just the same as I can't prove globe Earth, right? But I can definitely, based on the evidence that I see, believe in one more than the other. Okay. So let's get this out of let's clear this air. Flat Earth is not like a puck. Okay. So a lot of people think, when people think of a flat earther, they think that the Earth is the shape of a puck and it's this flat little pancake
Like a
thing,
disc.
like a disc. Yeah, that's not what flat Earth is about. And man, I wish I had when we actually dive full blown into flat Earth, I'll have a pad of paper and pencil so I can.
Because if it was a disc, like some of the potholes we got here, man,
oh gosh,
we'd fall right into
we'd
space.
just go straight through the other side. Yeah, exactly.
There is no other side. There's just space.
Yeah. So there's no edge of the Earth that people think of, like when they think of a pancake or a disc Earth, where you go over.
Okay, okay, you're gonna get to the actual shape.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm gonna get to the actual shape.
I
And
gotta
again,
know.
I'll touch on it, and then I'll hopefully be able to, when we actually dive full force into this topic,
Yes,
be able to kind of give you an overview of what that looks like. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Love it.
So the flat Earth. And I'm gonna pull up some verses here, and again, everything
like biblical verses.
Yes. So again, to tie it back into something I've already said before, everything that I come from stands from pursuing what the Bible says.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm admittedly a poor example of a Christ follower. I have my own flaws.
Mm-hmm.
So don't look at me as this person to look to. Not saying that you would, but I have my own flaws. I've got my own shortcomings, right? But in everything that I do, like, okay, biblically, can it be so? What does the Bible say in reference to this, right?
Yes.
That is the foundation, if you will, that I kind of try to base all of my thinking and all of my processes on. So, with that being said, I'll pull up a couple of different Bible verses and Bible passages here for you. So the first one is in Job 38. I don't know if you guys have anything in terms of like a Bible on here. on your phone, but I'll pull this up.
Yeah.
And again, forgive me for kind of not being as prepared as I should.
Oh,
but
no, it's
we'll
okay.
say that for another time.
Yeah.
But Job 38, starting at verse 12, it says, "Have you ever given orders to the morning or shown the dawn in its place, that it might take the earth by the edges?" Okay.
Okay. Edges.
So earth
Got
by
it.
the edges. Let's listen to it. So it's saying that there is an edge to the earth.
Which was the common belief in that time.
Correct, which has been the common belief through many civilizations over centuries. But that it may take earth by the edges and shake the wicked out of it. The earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Okay. So if you took a piece of clay, much like you used to back in the day, you used to take hot wax and place it under a seal. What does clay under a seal or wax under a seal do? It creates a flat shape, right?
Yeah.
So in the features that stand out like those of a garment, the wicked deny light, and the upraised arm is broken. So anyways, so it talks about the edges of the earth, and it talks about how the earth takes shape like the form of clay under a seal. So when you press the seal down onto clay, it flattens it out and creates essentially like a flat shape, if you will, right?
Puts like a border and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So then we go over to, this is Hosea chapter 4.
Nobody liked Hosea anyway. But go ahead.
Okay. Regardless if you like it or not, it's in the Bible. It's the Word of God. So it says, starting in verse 5, "You stumble day and night, and the prophets stumble with you, so I will destroy your mother. My people are destroyed from lack of knowledge."
Okay.
So the people of God, are destroyed by lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
So the lack of knowledge that we have is the lack of, and we talked about this earlier, the lack of actually having the real knowledge and being given the knowledge that we're told that we should have, right? So we have a lack of actual knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I also reject my priests. Because you have ignored the law of your God, I will also ignore your children. And before he said the word. So, then going back to verse 8, it says that they feed on the sins of my people and they relish in the wickedness, and it will be like the people like priests. Anyway, so it talks about how
this is the time of kings.
Yeah.
This is after Solomon. This is after David. These are the time of the kings.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we go into Psalm 104, starting in verse 1. "Bless the Lord, O my soul. O the Lord, O my God, you are great. You are clothed in splendor and majesty, covering yourself in the light with a garment, stretching out the heavens like a tent." Okay. Anybody know what a tent is here? Right? Tent covers a certain parameter as a covering,
the
right?
round ball thing.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Those round balls that we pop up all the time when we go to Channel Lakes.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So it talks about how he stretches the earth like a tent.
Okay.
And it says that he lays beams of his chambers on the waters. He makes garments of the chair. He rides wings in the wind. He makes the messengers, the winds, yada yada. But again, it talks about a tent, a covering, okay, if you will. Again, if you continue with Psalm 104, this is another really important part. It says that he set the earth on its foundations. Now, I don't know if you have any kind of, idea of what a foundation is, but a foundation generally is something that is
under something.
Well, that under something, but a foundation also is something that is set, that doesn't move, right?
Sure.
The foundation of this home doesn't move. You set a foundation which sets in place and doesn't move. Though, according to what we're meant to believe with the earth itself spins at about 1,000 miles an hour round, right? That's its rotation.
Okay.
The earth rotates at about 1,000 miles an hour. Then the earth's orbit around the sun is about 67,000 miles an hour, okay? And then,
how can those be two separate?
So you have the earth spinning.
Okay.
The earth itself.
You're talking about two separate.
So the earth's rotation.
Okay.
The earth itself is spinning at a rotation of about 1,000 miles an hour.
Got it.
That same earth, as it's spinning 1,000 miles an hour, is now also simultaneously spinning, moving around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. Okay. But then at the same time, the solar system that we know that consists of 9 planets, or I guess 8, whether or not you choose to include Pluto, but we'll call it 9 for the sake of including Pluto, because that's at least how we were taught. But again, that's just a crazy thing, because one thing, according to science, that can be true one time all of a sudden isn't true, and they will continue to change their truth as it needs to fit the current narrative, right? So anyway, because Pluto supposedly is no longer a planet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think it said something woke.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
And now it's no longer
right.
loud.
So the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, round and round and round and round. But then the Earth itself, as it is spinning 1,000 miles an hour, is spinning around the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. But at the same time, the solar system is moving through outer space at like I think it was 450,000 miles an hour.
Okay.
Okay. So the people who are meant to be seen as crazy are the people that look out and observe with the eye and say, man, well, you know what? It looks like things are pretty still. But at the same time, we're meant to believe that we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, going around the sun at 45,000 or 65,000, or sorry, 67. Getting my numbers wrong. 67,000 miles an hour. At the same time, our solar system is moving through outer space at 450,000 miles an hour.
Okay.
Okay. So this whole thing, right?
It's all moving.
We're going.
Yeah.
And I almost off my chair again.
I mean,
but
you
we're
almost
moving.
stole second base.
I almost stole second base. So we're moving, right?
Yeah.
But that is the thing that is meant to be viewed as normal, as opposed to where it says, hey, we're set. The Earth is set on its pillars as a foundation. Think that hey, we're just and God looks down on us like man on a grasshopper. He looks down on us and observes us. So I gotta try to keep myself from getting off on tangents here. But
so far you're doing pretty good.
So let me just ask you this. If we were spinning that fast around the sun that fast and moving through the solar system that fast, why then have the constellations for centuries upon centuries never once changed? Okay? They've never once changed. The constellations that we see now are the same constellations that our ancestors noted. If we were spinning through space at 450,000 miles per hour, and you can Google this, you can look it up, why would the constellations not change? Why would we not be visiting, or why would different stars not be visible? Why would
the scientific answer is, now I'm not saying it's correct.
Okay.
The scientific answer is that they're so far away that they probably have been moving for a great many years.
Okay.
And that because they're so far away, we cannot perceive that movement.
Okay.
That's probably the layman's terms.
I don't think I've ever. I don't know why. Maybe I just remember. I don't remember the part about like the whole galaxy, like going through space.
Oh yeah,
I believe you. No, I believe you.
Yeah.
I just don't ever remember that being told that.
Well,
it's really weird.
When
like
I hear
everything else, I have, but I've never heard, because that right there to me was like, yeah, I can see where it makes sense there, but I'm sitting there going, oh, wait, the whole thing's moving.
So yeah, so
then if that's what, then why don't we just say all space is moving?
So here, if you just Google how fast does our solar system move through space?
Yes.
Our solar system moves at an average speed of 450,000 miles per hour. Okay, so if we have a group of stars that are here, and we are moving 450,000 miles an hour this way, why haven't the constellations changed? Not even once, and not even once to the point that we can actually plan our calendar based on constellations. The same constellation will be in the same spot in where we can visit what we would call outer space, right? From our vantage point looking up into the sky. That same constellation on the same day in December, let's just call it December 1st, it will rotate, but December 1st will be back in the same exact spot. And it's been that way for millennia, for centuries. Like, it's never changed. So if you take a what is it called, like a slow exposure, right? And you point it at the North Star, you realize the North Star never moves. So that alone says, well, if the North Star never moves, how can we be moving but never have the North Star ever move its location? But if you fixate a camera on the North Star and then do a slow exposure, you'll see that all of the stars actually rotate around the northern star. And they come back, and in 12 months' time, they're fixated in the same spot. 12 months from there, the North Star doesn't move, but all the constellations move around it, and they come back to the same spot at the same time of year. If we're moving 400, I don't think people understand and grasp how fast 450,000 miles per hour really is. So how many hours are in a year?
Well,
You start to count like 24 per day. How many 365 days?
the other thing you have to I get what you're saying, but you have to understand the way we measure stuff. It's not like me going that fast is different from something that's beyond millions size bigger than me is measured the same way. So even though it takes me this long to get here, that planet doesn't take long to get there, but they're still measuring it at the same speed. So as much as you want to sit there and perceive that this huge thing is going that fast, it's not in really it is. It's put down to like how small you are.
Okay.
Okay. So think about it as like as the movement stuff. That's kind of weird to me. I've never heard that theory. But what I do know is everybody that I've ever seen when they talk about the speed thing, the thing is they forget is it's just how as humans we always measure stuff. We don't always measure it the right way. So like they're comparing to say something's going 100 miles per hour, it's going to be different when the reason that like say a guy that's 100 foot taller than me, the speed is measured, but it seemed like he's moving that fast because if you put a radar on him, it looks like it. Is he really going that far? No, it's just the amount of mass and size that he's moving. We're measuring it at my level when we should probably recalculate it to his level. So realistically, the number that they have there should be smaller instead of what they say. And the galaxy one, I don't know. I don't get bored with that. That doesn't make any sense that the whole galaxy is moving because, like you said, because if that's the case, then why don't you just say, well, why doesn't that star move? Well, because it goes with it. Just say that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Don't sit there and say the whole And then first of all, what is the galaxy doing? Is it going straight? Is it turning? What is it doing? Mm-hmm. To me, it would seem like, okay, well, is the whole galaxy turning? Because then the North Star makes sense. Mm-hmm. That's weird. Right. That's making me like, I don't even know how to think about that. But
that's just it. So like the North Star doesn't move though, right? So how can we take one star that remains in the same spot the entire time, but everything else around it moves? Yeah. Right? So that would lead you to believe that maybe it's because the Earth, the way we used to think it before they changed thinking that, because before we used to say that everything revolved around the Earth, right? Yeah. Then they changed it to a way, actually, you know what? We've discovered that we actually revolve around the sun.
Okay. Yeah, to what end?
What do you mean to what end?
So, like, for what purpose was that? Like, nefariously.
Nefariously.
Why would you change that?
To take away from the Bible. To take away from God's word.
So, to disprove God's word.
Correct.
You would say that we are not the center of the universe.
Correct. Exactly right. Because what God says in the Bible is that we were fearfully and wonderfully made. We were made in his image.
Okay.
Right? So we were made with purpose. So, but if you can get the population, so here's where things kind of get a little sticky. So people who are of faith typically have a little bit easier time believing in a flat Earth theory because there's biblical ties to it. People who don't have a connection to God, a connection to the Bible,
they have no reason to question science.
Exactly, they have no because what they believe is in the science.
Which is what I had said earlier. Like you have to fill the vacuum of power and believe with something.
Correct.
You can't just say
they align their beliefs with
anything
something
at all.
Exactly. They align their beliefs with something.
Okay.
Right.
Which is
so to take away from what God specifically says, and the fact that you and myself and all of our your wife, your children, my wife, my children, everybody that's in existence, our parents, our grandparents, everyone that came before us, and everybody that will come after us, were made specifically in the image of God. Okay. So that's what God's word says, is that we were made in his image. So in order to say, no, you know what, we don't want you, because the world as we know it, according to the Bible, is Satan's dwelling place. This is his realm. Okay. So for him to get us to disbelieve that, what he wants us to believe is that we are significant. I take that back. That we are insignificant. Mm-hmm. Okay. So meaning that we are just one speck of a planet, one grain of sand on an entire beach, right? Okay. So what makes this grain significant compared to all the other grains? Why is this one special? Well, the world or the way that Satan would want you to believe it is that you aren't. You're insignificant. You're just one grain of sand amongst many. You're one planet amongst many. You're one amongst this
Well, but aren't we?
threshold of stars.
But aren't we?
No, because the Bible specifically talks about how he created a light to rule the day, the sun, and he creates
Yes.
a light to rule the night, a moon.
So what are the other
And
stars?
he places them in the firmament along with the stars. So all of the stars, all of those gleams of light, the stars,
Yes.
including the sun and the moon, were placed within the firmament.
So
Talks about that-
you're
says that in the
stating
Bible.
that the stars that we see are not trillions of light years away.
Correct. I'm not stating it. I'm stating what I believe based on what the Bible states. I'm saying the Bible states that, hey, we've placed this. Can you take a break? Is that
No,
what
it's
you're
fine.
doing?
No,
Finish
keep
your
going.
thought.
Finish your thought. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
You're fine. I thought you were looking like maybe
Yeah,
we were
yeah,
going to take a
yeah,
break.
yeah. But you're
So, anyway, man, there's so much to unpack here.
Yeah.
But anyway, it talks about, and I'll pull up this verse maybe after this break, where it talks about how, again, this is Psalm 104. It says, he set the earth on its foundations so that it should never be moved. The Bible specifically says that the earth was placed on foundations. It is not moving. It should never be moved. The earth is where it's supposed to be because God meant it to be here.
Okay. Hold that thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're holding
That's a massive thought, and it's very deep, and I want to get into it.
Stupid.
So stay with us. This is a huge thought.